Very good morning to each and all of you. I am very thankful to Livingstone Foundation International, headed by Dr. Sema, and all the members of the Livingstone family for giving me the opportunity to grace this occasion and to be amongst you. And I'm here to listen to you instead of speaking a lot in front of you. Today's conference is on Foundational Literacy and Numeracy, NEP as well as G20. Maybe in the next session I'll be speaking something as a layman on G20, because I'm not a student of politics as well as not a student of education. I'm a student in economics. But as Dr. Sema has pointed out, the better side of the NEP, we are just discussing that whenever we talk about education, there are expansive education, but what is the quality of education? Very recently, NITI Aayog has come out with the index of education in India amongst the larger states as well as among the smaller states. In the larger states, Kerala becomes the one. And in the smaller states, Manipur is the first. And Nagaland is in the 5th position with 48% of marks. So you see that now why we are, as for example, as because I am now serving Nagaland, I am more interested in this state and its education from the school level to the university level. We need to bring about changes in the quality of education. And there I think that this topic is very important, not only the NEP, the foundations of literacy and numeracy. What is the literacy? As a layman, I understand that literacy ultimately helps us to communicate, to read, to write, and to communicate. And which is always, it's a part of a human being. We always need to communicate. We always need to communicate in the greater sense of the term. Whatever we understand, we need to communicate. So therefore, reading, writing, and communicating is very important. In the same way, literacy, numeracy, that is numbers. The simple numbers are required in the plus, minus, multiplications, and divisions. And these two are always the way of life. Whenever we have these abilities always make us to stand in the day-to-day activities of our life. Whenever we go to purchase anything, you need the numerology. Anybody. So therefore, you see that these two are very important, and these are the foundations of any kind of an education. I am not talking about the language. The literature, you may be, now it is being told that the mother language is the best language to start with. But nowadays we know that you are living in a modern age and you need various kinds of languages also, not only on your mother language but other languages. The more language one can acquire, it is always an advantage, I believe. But I cannot speak much. I can speak only 3 languages. My mother tongue is Assamese. I am from Assam. I can speak a bit Hindi, and I can communicate in English. But the thing is that numerology in the same pattern is always very important. There are complex numerologies also. Whenever we are writing the research papers and all, you need to have the complex numerology. The data need to be analyzed and all. Somebody was talking about my paper. So data envelope analysis. So there are different methods and users are there. We use computers and softwares are there to run the show. So therefore these are, one has to acquire. But the thing is that, so that is why I feel that these topics are very important, that numerology, and we need to improve on the quality, and that lies not only all the stakeholders, because the teachers have a role to play, how to teach the numerology. Because I feel that there is a phobia about maths. Especially we find that in the northeastern region. I'm not talking, I do not know much about Nagaland, but in many parts of the northeastern regions we find that there are very less number of students who are going to the science streams. Why? Because the maths. Because that is the foundation. That foundation need to be strong. Always I believe that school education need to be stronger. So that if you have a very good foundations, so naturally top levels will be easier. So therefore that school education always we need to emphasize, and we have to improve on the quality of school education. And I think as rightly pointed out by Dr. Sema, that the new education policy may provide us an opportunity, because there are a lot of emphasis on holistic development. Because whenever we are producing the human resources, not only the education is one part, academic is a part, but other facets of life are also very important, because ultimately we have to fit in the society at large. We have to contribute positively to the society. I think from those angles, I think that new education policy will be very helpful. I do not know much about the policy as such, especially the focusing on school education. But I think that there are a lot of changes, and there are a lot of opportunities, there are a lot of challenges will be there. And I think slowly we'll be able to overcome these. As rightly pointed out, we're just sitting and discussing that extracurricular, co-curricular activities. In the plains, you have the playing fields, you can play. Nowadays, the fascination for cricket. All those things, because these are demonstration effect. We have the TVs and mobiles and all these things are available. Messi and Ronaldo, in the same way that the cricket, the big names are there. Very recently the World Cup has completed. So I also enjoy it. But the thing is that, rightly point out that it may not be available everywhere, especially in the hilly terrain, but we can adapt to the situations. Like you have the hills, you can have a mountaineering, you can have a nature walk, you can have a bird watching. So nowadays you will find that these things are happening in other institutions also. I was a faculty in the IIT Guwahati for around 25 years. So we have the bird watching club because it's a huge campus of around 750 hectares of land with the hills and ponds and all. But the thing is that so in the midst of the urban area, you see that now we have a bird watching club. We have an astronomy club. So it is, you see that a student can be involved in those ways also. The different small clubs. It's a debating club. Somebody is interested in literary debating, extempore speech, something like the drama club.
In this pleasant weather, and not very sunny, not very humid, very pleasant moment to sit around and to listen to all the beautiful lectures that will be given today. Anyway, I on behalf of Livingstone Foundation International, welcome all of the guests, especially our chief guest, Professor Dr. Saundarya, who has come all the way from ICFAI. He has also made a person from IIT Guwahati. He has been there from inception. 24 years he has been IIT, and as we all know, IIT Guwahati has been ranked the 7th in the country. It's a privilege to have him here, and now he is the Vice VC of ICFAI. We also have beautiful guest speakers, Professor Dr. John, who's here, and also he'll be giving on NEP, and Dr. Yolila, she's also well versed with her subjects, and not forgetting a dear friend who's on the way, caught up in traffic, Tolto Mehta, who's also be giving on G20. And there will be a slight change of the program because our VC have to leave, the chief guests have to leave for a call at 2 o'clock. So probably he may have to leave early. No problem, sir. We are giving you the first platform after this to sit and discuss about the beautiful NEP, what has been happening. I also like to thank our Sir Francis Doctor who has come, who is also the General Secretary to the sports wing of the ANAPSA, and also all the schools who have come here. We could not invite all the schools because constrained to the capacity of hosting, but we have to call in few numbers. We are privileged actually to be hosting this because in the Northeast, 7 states were earmarked and Manipur had to be left out because of the turmoil that was happening. So Manipur is not having this program over there, but we are the lucky lot in one way, but we have to keep them in our prayers that the peace reigns over there. And we are one of the states who will be holding this. The importance of this matter, which FLN, NEP and G20, you'll get to know as this whole day session goes by. And I know that whoever have come here, you will have a lot of good takeaway. You will understand the importance of the new NEP, not forgetting FLN and the G20. I would like to mention to all the children, those are here also with all your mentors and all the heads of schools, everything has revamped, times are changing. But anyway, to take back our Livingstone also, we started with a very humble beginning of 45 students here. This entire campus, the entire area was all jungles and not even a single soul except for the reptiles, the insects and the birds. But it has gone through tremendous transformation. We took a baby step with NBAC, but later on we switched over and to CBSE because we had to adapt a bit with the national curriculum, and that's how it went. And as the years went by, you may be thinking that why the tagline of international is because we took Cambridge from 8 and below as one of the curriculum. We are the second in Northeast to have the international curriculum. And why so again? Is because it teaches us, and especially the children, not in cramming, not in memorization, but in understanding, concept-based. So right now, when we look at the NEP, I think it's never too late, although it has come a bit late. When we look at the adaptation of education across the globe, we see that India, in fact, I had written a book called the 3C SOS, The Final Answer. There is clearly mentioned about the difference of curriculum across the globe, and I've taken the best practices to get synced with the system of education in India as well. We all know that India was once upon a time one of the biggest hub of education, one of the number one, I would say that in education, if at all, we have to perceive. Because India had the best university, like example of Takshila and Nagaland. What happened? Times changed, but the education system did not probably change. It could have been like Nokia, which was number one, but is not to be found. So, I guess the system had to be changed. That's why the NEP has come in. So I feel that we all need to understand and adapt to the modern age. So in the book which was mentioned over there, the best practices across the globe, we have to understand one thing, as Einstein had been questioned once. One of a guy asked him very casually, "Sir, what is the speed of sound?" And he, without a blinking of his eye, he said, "I don't know. And I don't need to know such kind of a numerical in my mind. You have the textbook, you'll get the answers there." That was then. But now, you have the Google. You just type what is the speed of sound or light, you'll get it. Why do you have to memorize? Why do you have to cram it? No need to cram. That is why the new system of education is not about, the value of education is not about cramming, not about rote memory, not about memorization, it's about concept. And the most important, powerful tool is the student should not be taught what to think, but how to think. This is the modern trend. So we are giving in Stonites, Livingstone especially, you need to think for yourself. You need to adapt the situation, not the rote memory. That is why, again, the good thing of the CBSE, what they have done is that they have done away, they have been redundant, is on the merit list. The merit list is no more now from this year. Like no top 10, no top 20, no national tops, no regional top. Because they found it that why should we have such kind of a competition which is not healthy? So every child is unique, they say that. Every child is good, every child is blessed. And just because you are in the top list doesn't mean you're good in everything. India, we usually feel that a person who gets 100 upon 100 or A plus, whatever, they think they're good in everything just because they got the good ranking or good marking. We assume that they'll be the best footballer, they'll be the best cricketer, they'll be the best musician, the best dancer, basing on the marks and the grade. Is it not so? It is not so. I feel that every child is unique, and every child has been made uniquely by God, and we have all the acumen, all the capacity. The best that is instilled to us is there within us. It's just that we have to rekindle, we have to ignite that thing to make us somebody for the future to come. So I guess right now, what we're going to talk about, the NEP and all this, whatever the topics are given, I think it'll bring a change. I've seen that in my own experience. The backbenchers, 90% of my schooling till now, 90% of backbenchers are doing far more better than the toppers. Not discriminating, not judging, but why? Because probably I think they had their own sort of understanding, like Einstein says, I don't need to memorize all that. I think I need to think for myself what is right and what is wrong. Information those days was an asset. Information was such a precious moment, the asset like kind of a thing that you need to know, and only the mentors knows, or the encyclopedia knows everything. You have to extract it, but nowadays it's not so. Knowledge is found, information is found. You need to grab that knowledge. So I guess that you have come here today is you take away the good knowledge that is instilled for you in education, and I hope that the education system across the globe, especially in India, the reformation that NEP is doing, fantastic, I would say that, is doing good. From 2020 it just started, and coincidentally the book which I wrote was in 2020. I was trying to also write about the reformation of new education policy in India. But side by side, apparently after the book was written, the NEP was launched. So it's good that what idea was there still, it is happening. And I wish that all those who have come here, you take the good takeaway of whatever is there still for you today, and see that you make a change. You be the trendsetter. It is not the school maybe in the hills. We were just talking with our professor, Dr. Saundarya, that maybe in the hills we are constrained to the football field or the big field. It's impossible. But you need to be more creative. Like probably in the village, they don't have as much facility as in the cities. But well, we need to adapt. Maybe they have the more coexistence to the flora and fauna. They can take a hike, they can take a walk, they can do camping, they can do plantation of the various vegetables and the paddy field or the maize or whatever is grown. They can understand the nature better, the rivers and everything. But we are not in that way privileged, I would say that over here. So every geographical location have a different way of understanding the environment, and the knowledge comes in that way. Supposing somebody has to say right now, let us take a measurement of this room with whatever you have. Well, the first thing that comes is we take a ruler, a scale, or a measuring tape. Not necessary. It's the creativity of yours. You may take your shoe, you may take your footstep, they'll say it's about 50 steps from here. Some may take a hand, some may take a book, some may take a bottle, some may take a mobile and start measuring. So that's creativity, So that is what we are expecting of a child. Not that, no, you have to use a ruler, you have to use the centimeter, millimeter, inches and the foot. Not necessary. It is how you make things out of your box. You have to tickle your mind to be creative. So that is what the new education is all about. So I hope the new education policy will tickle your mind and make you think for the better of yourself and for the better of the state, your area, and the entire nation of India as a whole. So I hope this new policy will reign for the goodness of everybody, and I hope that you become one of the best students and a best example to the nation. Thank you very much, and welcome to Livingstone. Thank you.
This Livingstone Foundation International, we have just started this program, which is a conference for the state level across Nagaland, and we are privileged actually to have this hosted. In the Northeast, they have selected about 7 states. Unfortunately, as I have mentioned in the morning, that we could not take him to Manipur because there have been some crisis over there, for which we are very saddened, and I hope that peace is restored at the earliest. And then right now we are having this program, especially in context to the FLN and the NEP and the G20. So we have eminent speakers. We also have the Vice Chancellor from ICFAI, who was a former, also the professor in the IIT, which ranks 7th in all over India in Assam. And then we are having this program so that we understand the new policies that have been created by the government of India, which is immensely good for the young children. Those will be coming up. And we know that the old system of education, which has been redundant, I would say that there is a change. So I hope that the education system across India does not follow the old traditional system where only marks and grade was given the privilege or given the attention. And in fact, the merit list also is no more there in the CBSE now. We do not give attention to the top 10 and top 20, but we give rather to all holistic approach. So I feel that where the NEP is concerned, I guess now only 40% of the marking will be considered, and the rest 60% will be looking at the different aspect where co-curriculum and other activities also will be taken into much importance. And especially when we're talking about the skills, this is also very important because all cannot make it as a scholar because we have different skills. And I know that every children are in their own perspective. They have a very fantastic role that they can play in whatever ways they can. It's not that only the bookish knowledge brings you to become somebody great. I've seen across that bookish knowledge has now no more in the modern world. They are more interested, and to see that when we look at the modern world, they are into looking at the conceptualization of understanding, making the student think. I think that is more important rather than to make them think and to memorize. And I would also like to mention that especially the coaching centers and the tuition has become a menace because it is only making them a robot, I would say that. And we understand that the old school of thoughts, especially the teachers, what they used to do is they give the notes or they give the maths kind of a formula or whatever the step that is being done. And if you do not answer the exact word by word, we don't get marks. And also some of the maths steps which they have given us, provided us. If you do not perform that, they'll say, even if your marks are, even if your answer is right, but the step which I've shown you, it's wrong. So where did you get the steps? And they want that to happen like it's only their step that should be followed or the answers that should be followed. It is not that in this modern world. In this modern world is that what you understand, what is the concept, you can answer in whatever ways. So these are the formulas which I feel that the new education policy has taken up for the betterment. And I know that the children are fantastic, I would say that. We cannot undermine a backbencher just because he did not get a grade A plus or 100 upon 100 doesn't mean a student is bad. A student, everybody I've seen in my own practical life, 90% of the students who are backbenchers have made it much more better in life than those who have even got the toppers. Not demeaning them, not undermining them, but we need to adapt and adopt the good situation that the NEP has come in, and I'm very thankful to the government of India and especially all the state also will be implementing the new NEP and also the G20 and not forgetting the FLN also. So thank you very much. Yeah.
So sir, ajila program ni the participants to kiman thingina?
Oh, today's participation we have more than 20 schools because we could not call upon everybody from across because of the time factor was number one, and also we could not accommodate over here. So we could accommodate what we could. So about more than 120 participants are here as of now, and there will be also a painting competition which we could not do it on the spot because of the climate and also that, but they have brought it, and there will be it's about the particular theme that we'll be doing today. Yeah.